the 5 basic elements of operational excellence. I love this topic. Stay with us. So in this video, we're going to talk about how to achieve operational excellence. What are those 5 keys like I've already promised you? I'm super excited. And how do you go about achieving it? And here's a question for you. Does it apply to all businesses? Yes, I'll just go ahead and answer that right now. So I'm excited to share that with you. Let's go. All right. So I will say, and you've heard me say this before, but every company must have a vision and core values. And I'll tell you why. What is excellence to a company if they don't know where they're headed, right? If they don't know what their mission and purpose is, if they don't know what their core values are, if they don't know what their aspirational values are, what their red zone is, right? If they don't know what their key differentiators, then how do we know that we're even meeting it, right? So every company must have their vision put together. You can learn that from Patrick Lencioni in the book The Advantage. You can learn that from Beyond Entrepreneurship 2.0 from Jim Collins. You can learn that from the book Traction and the book Rocket Fuel by Gino Wickman. There's multiple places where you can get this, but you must have clarity on where you're going, what you're doing, and what your business is about. Because if you don't know where you're going, you don't know if you're doing it in an excellent way, right? You could be completely heading it in the wrong direction and doing this thing, random thing over here, excellent, and they don't tie together and it doesn't matter. So always start with your vision and your core values. All right, so step number 1 for operational excellence will always be leadership. And I will say, right people on the bus, right people in the right seats, wrong people off. And I will say that team working effectively in proximity, solving problems, and making sure that they are getting the right training and advancement in their role to be effective as leaders. Number 2, strategy. When it comes to operational excellence, what is the overall strategy for your company, your department, or your project? And what kind of strategies have you developed as plan B, C, D, E, or F? And when I talk about strategy, I'm talking about a plan of action or a way of doing business to achieve an overall aim. And so if you don't know how you want to do business on that project or in that department or in your company, then you can't very well scale again and align it to your clarity and then be excellent at doing it. So the second key step is always to develop an operations strategy. Really get clear on that and do that with the first step. Remember, your leadership team. The only other thing that I would add with strategy is strategy deployment, meaning how are you going to communicate that and deploy that throughout the ranks and make sure that everybody knows that model or way of doing business. 3, your customers. Not only do you need to find the right customers that are a cultural fit, that you trust and that you enjoy working with, but you also need to pull them in, obviously through sales and marketing, and to make sure that you're connecting them with that value. I remember a great book that showcased the business model canvas, and it took the strategy and the product and connected it with the customers and showed how those value chains work together. And so if you're going to have operational excellence, it really comes down to, do you have the right customers? Are you connecting properly with those right customers? Are you pulling them in, and are you adding them value through your strategy, and are they connected together? The other thing that I would say is that those customers can't be abusive to your people. They must be a cultural fit, and you must trust and like working with them. Number 4, operations. In order for this to work, you might have value and you might have the right customers, you might have the right strategy, and you might have the right vision like we've talked about before, but you must have the right operations to consistently deliver that value to those customers. And so not only is it your strategy, not only is it your operating system, not only is it your product, and not only is it your customers that you're aligning to and adding value to, but it's your consistent operations and your ability through resources and engagement to consistently deliver that through operational strategy and deployment. And then it comes down to your workforce. And actually, you could probably put the workforce even farther ahead if you wanted to. But you must have well-developed, well-trained, and we have other videos on this channel that do that, so please like and subscribe so you get all these cool videos. But you must have a trained and developed workforce that can constantly work inside those operations and deliver that value to the clients. And so you're probably seeing a pattern here, right? Is that every company, and I do want to say that this has worked with companies where we've done consulting, where we've done scheduling, project support, where at all levels of engagement or complete organizational transformation efforts. A company must know what they want. They must have a good strategy and way of doing business. Once they have that strategy, it must align to a customer need according to certain key operations, and it must be integrated with the workers or the workforce in a manner that they know, they've been trained. You can reinforce it through monthly or bi-monthly field walks, hold the teams accountable, and start to get that flywheel turning and reinforce the proper discipline of how we do business. I have never seen operations improve without this model, because if you have the workforce that's committed, well, what's the system? Okay, if you don't know the system, then you won't get anywhere. If you have the system, but you never teach it, it'll never get to the workers. If you have the system and you teach it, but you never do field walks and hold people accountable and really grade them based on their performance, it will never actually get done. People will default to what they're typically used to doing. And so you will never get the results of the system. So it always works in this pattern. Leadership, the clarity of what you're going to do, how you want to do business, make sure that your strategy and your customers are aligned so that value gets to them, your operations, and it's the training and the accountability of your workforce to actually deliver on that vision, that strategy, and those operations that actually gets it to the customer in the end. If any of those pieces are missing, you will not be successful with operational excellence. It's just a scientific and mathematical impossibility. And so I do want to say that at Elevate, we found this pattern that we've been scaling with multiple clients on multiple projects for quite some time. And then I heard about a year ago about the Baldrige Excellence Framework, and I saw how those two tie together, and I was blown away. So I immediately ordered the books, learned everything I could about it, and it really comes down to this. You can have all the best plans in the world, but if people don't know that plan, it's not going to happen. And you can have all the best plans in the world and the knowledge throughout the organization, but if you don't actually have a way to implement and execute it in the field, none of the previous steps matter. So it always has to go from leadership to clarity to how do we do business, train everybody, then deploy it. There has to be a deployment method, and then a way to hold people accountable. And if you have all components of that system, you will actually get results. And I will tell you, these clients that we work with, you can go to any of their jobs, they're all the same. They're all safe. They're all building quality product. They all do it the same way, and they're always improving. And like, you might think, and I'm not accusing, but you might think, hey, this is a pipe dream. I've never seen that, Jason. You're just talking a big game. No, once you hit that point where all components on this flywheel are working and now you have momentum, I've seen companies, again, just really deploy an excellent system and maintain consistent through long periods of time. But it's because they followed each component part. So what I'd like to invite you to do is reference the graphic in the description below, and if you want to take it a little bit further, research the Baldrige Excellence Framework. Because just one more time, even if you have a plan, even if people know it, you'll never get the results if you don't deploy it and hold people accountable. So I hope you're able to use this video for any type of operational excellence that you're looking for in any level inside your company. I hope you've enjoyed this video. Please call me if you have any questions. On we go.